Welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode. It's time to get on with some, thermal expansion, I think. I think we need to unlock that more than anything else. So why don't we start by getting that sorted. First of all, I've been making a few changes. These are cable facades. They're quite nice. If you haven't used them before, just make 4 cable facades and surround them on, the top, bottom, left, and right of any block, and it will make these that you can cover. You can cover smart cable with, and that's quite nice. Covers them. Okay, moving on. I've made a list, yes, and I've checked it twice, and I know if you've been... So moving on, we have a list to get on with, and we've got to get to thermal expansion, we've got to get through RF tools, machine frames, and IE heavy engineering blocks, the other prerequisites we've done before. I've also made a note over here because I had to make some pink slime for this, and I don't like making pink slime. It takes far too long. We want mob duplication going fairly soon with slimes, enderman, and wither skeletons at least. Those 3 are very, very useful. So to do that, you just want a mob imprisonment tool. I've already used one to grab a pink slime, so we'll have one in future. If you want to make one more of those, or a few more of those, you're just going to need a few ender pearls and some gas tears. I made the mistake / good luck of going to the nether and shooting a ghast, and it was a compressed ghast. If you ever want to be scared, hit compressed ghast. You kill it, and it basically spawns immediately. I think it's 8 or 9 more ghasts. So if you imagine them all screaming, unfortunately I didn't catch it on camera, but if you imagine 8 ghasts screaming and casting fireballs at you immediately, that was it. I didn't die, but it was fun. Anyway, we've got enough ghast tears. We just probably don't have a lot of ender pearls. I've got 11, so I've got a few, but we're going to have thousands before we're done, so that's going to be good. So, yeah, mob duplication is on the score, and for that you are going to need a duplicator, which needs a couple of things, a machine case, but we're going to need that for something else. So I don't want to make, unless we can make 2 of them, machine cases. If we can make 2, yeah, not so much. I just need some more steel, it looks like. Is that steel mainly? Yeah, steel. So why don't we just put some steel on while we actually talk about some other stuff. First of all, I've moved some stuff. I have moved all of the mechanism stuff, and I hate this color thing from Enigmatica. I've moved all the mechanism machines downstairs, so I have room for the compressor again, because I already have automated them as far as that's concerned. Yep, that's exactly right. We're going to get some steel. Just dump the steel in to be rolled. So I have actually automated them. If you have a look in the interface terminal, you'll see up here at the top, we can access, well, it says nothing right now, probably because they're not registering as connected to the machines. But you can see they have these 2 encoded patterns. If we just pop downstairs, at the very, very back, we'll have to do the same thing as we did before. So I've not set up the rear of the machines yet, but the front of the machines are set up. These are again cable facades, smooth sandstone. Okay, so you see back here, we're going to need a little bit of extra space and to do this kind of thing. So I'm just going to set that up, and I'll do it off camera, but we just need to set the tops, I think, as the input side. So that's set to input at the moment. Okay, which is the top face, of course. And input on this one. I don't have any recipes in any of the other ones, so I just want to make sure I have input set on each of these. And then we can set up a transporter along the back with different colors. You can just alternate the colors, it doesn't much matter at this point. And set them to pull, etc. And then you'll be able to configure these. You'll see this one has a pattern. It inputs an iron ingot, outputs an enriched alloy, and that's easy. And with the fact that now those inputs are set correctly and the pipes are set behind them, we know that the metallurgic infuser is set up correctly. It shows up in our AE2 system, so we can just basically order. I don't know. Let's order something and let's see whether they actually do work. Enriched alloy. I've got 1 of them at the moment. Let's just craft, I don't know, 10 of them. It's going to be 10 iron. And we can check back on that in a second. Our steel should now be off from the rolling system. Yep, we got enough of that. And I'm just going to sleep through the night because I don't have a huge buffer. And if I've got machines running, well, we're going to be converting across to lava power sooner or later. So having that available, well, as it happens, magmatic dynamos are available in thermal expansion. So yeah, and indeed numismatic dynamos, which are even better. If we have enough gemstones to feed them, which we don't right now, but we may well do. What's the most efficient way of sieving for diamonds? Oops, I forgot to set to auto diamond. Sieving for diamonds. Okay, we want probably the diamond stiffened mesh, and it's via gravel. 1.6% drop chance for both of those, and then we get all the usual stuff as well. So it's definitely going to need to be gravel that we sift through. And right now we're just sieving dust. So we may well want either a separate set of sieves or to switch over from one to the other at some point. Anyway, as I was just diverted off my previous thought track, yes, we need to get back to going back to thermal expansion machine frames. So yeah, a couple of gates to open first. In particularly up here, there is this. We need to get through the RF Tools gate, which then unlocks the thermal expansion gate, and that is just crafting the machine frame. This machine frame is got pink slime in it, but it's got some other bits and pieces as well, so let's get that done first. There's the machine frame. I already added it to favorites. What have we got of it so far? We've got a range add-on. Doesn't much matter which range add-on you use. This one I will do for now, although we want probably the cheapest one when we automate this. It's not going to be automatable just yet, but you know, we'll get there. So that means we need probably the heat vents and the machine case, it looks like, and some of that dry rubber. Yes, dry rubber from Tiny Rubber, and I don't have Tiny Rubber because I've already converted it into plastic. Fine, let me get the latex stuff out again. Latex processing units. And what was it now? Tree fluid extractor or something? Yeah, and then some wood. I'll reset that back up. That's all now done, all packed away, all neat and tidy. We can just pop in here occasionally, pick up a piece of tiny dry rubber, which should be all finished for what I need in a second or two. However, we're going to need to make some other stuff as well, so we need some heat vents. Now, heat vents are typically used in Industrial Craft 2 for making nuclear reactors. One thing I will say is that this recipe for the machine frame, the thermal expansion one, is going to need uranium. Now, if things hold as they used to, be careful about uranium. I've got uranium ore and uranium ingots. Both of those are safe. But if I remember rightly, if you crush it to try and double it, if you crush it up, it becomes basically radioactive and it causes damage, let's put it that way. If it's the Industrial Craft 2 version, where you used to have to make them, you had to have a special suit. Is the hazmat suit still in the game? Whoops, helps if you... let me just take this off auto. Standard search, yeah. Maybe auto keep. If I type this in here, let's just type heat up here, and what happens if I type down here? Yeah, it's still going to actually keep, that's fine. Okay, I'll just have to remember to keep doing this. I always forget about it. Is the hazmat suit still in game? It is, it is. So the hazmat suit from Industrial Craft 2, if you craft that, it needs like the scuba mask and hazmat suit boots. It's all usually rubber, but in this case, yeah, it's sort of a different recipe. However, if you avoid that just by not crushing it, you can just put it straight into a smeltery, get the uranium ingots out, which is probably what we're going to be using as far as making this is concerned. It needs a couple of things here. It's in the heavy engineering block from Immersive Engineering. It needs these uranium plates, and to do that, we're going to probably just be able to metal roll them, basically. So we're going to get to the uranium. Uranium. And we're just going to roll a few of it. Just as before. Let's grab the tiny dry rubber from there, and that should be enough to get us going. We just need one more of this plate. There we go. And that, again, still is not causing me damage, which is good. Don't really like that Industrial Craft 2. It is a sort of an interesting mechanic to actually get through, but it's just one of those things that, yeah, after a while, you don't really want to have to deal with it anymore. Anyway, we need some reinforced alloy. Oh, if only I'd tell the system some way of making reinforced alloy. Yes, just make 2, please. And you remember that enriched alloy we ordered? Yep, that made just fine. So that will come in here, which means we just need the center block here, which is steel scaffolding. And that looks like it can be crafted rather easily with steel ingots and steel rods. And I don't think I have any steel rods. Oh, I have 2, but we can make more. steel rods. Okay, that's a weird recipe, but fine. Let's just make some blocks of redstone. And some steel scaffolding then. Should be as simple as getting 6 of it. Yep. Which means I can make the heavy engineering block, or rather 4 of them in this particular case. So that is that one done. Okay, so now we just need the RF Tools machine frame, which is a little different. Now, of course, we are going to eventually automate all of this, but to get started, there's a few thermal expansion machines we actually want. I think Magma Crucible is going to be one of them, but there are going to be some others I'm going to want as well. But yeah, it's very useful to have all kinds of ones. Regardless, where are we next? We are getting to RF Tools. Okay, RF Tools machine frame, which means we want these tiny dry rubber. I've already converted both of those across. So what we have here, we have 3 spaces left to get, 2 of which are heat vents and 1 of which is a machine case. Do I have anything I need for the machine case? Oops, machine case, I need this recipe. Yeah, and I'm going to need more mixed metal ingots. I'm going to make them en masse. I'm sick of making mixed metal ingots one at a time. But we can just make the machine case, which then means everything is done apart from the heat vents. Now, does it want specific ones? Just the regular kind of heat vents. Do we have any of this in here? Everything apart from the center, which is an electric motor. We can get 2 of them. Good. Glad I actually had those. I don't know why I have those. Probably because I made them at some point and forgot all about them. We're going to need some more iron bars, but that's simple. Thankfully, in the mod pack, iron bars are not some kind of weird recipe. And that means we have 2 heat vents, which means we should have 2 machine frames. And that's good. That's our last pink slime, it looks like, as well. So with that, that's that done. So you can come off the list. And that leaves us with the thermal expansion machine frame. Now, if I just have a look at the machine, let me just grab those. And I really hope that this actually counts. It does count as the quest. Because we also get a few options as far as what we want here. We excuse me, we have the advanced energy cell. We have the energy cell basic. That stores 10 million RF. This one stores 3.2 million. I'll take the 10 million one, I think. Oh, unless we... Oh, no, it is a choice reward. Okay, that is fine. We're probably going to want the Signalum upgrade to this, however, because that comes into one of the other pieces. I think it's the mob duplicator. Duplicator? Yes, it is. It requires a signal cell frame, and it requires a full version. That requires an induction smelter. That's the other machine that we probably want, and it only can be made in the induction smelter. So we have to basically do that. The machine itself, the cell frame itself, can come from the previous tier, which again is a fluid transposer. Again, only in thermal expansion. So yes, there's a few things here. Some rosin. I thought that was going to be orange slime. It's not. Okay, that's only in a fractionating still. Yeah, they're emphasizing the fact that if you want a mob duplicator, you're going to have to go through a lot through thermal expansion. Fine. Okay, let's ignore the mob duplicator for now, and let's look at the thermal expansion machine frame. And that's going to require a weird recipe. It requires the... let's just have a look at where is my shortcut. There it is. It requires a thermionic fabricator. And it requires this rather odd recipe, but you do get 2 machine frames out of it. So it requires a device frame, a heavy engineering block, machine case, and iron casing. And I already have some of that, so let's see how much of that I have in the system. Iron casings. If I had more than one of this, I would be very happy, but I don't think I do have enough. But can we actually make an extra? Oh, actually, we can tell the system to craft it, but it depends whether... Yeah, I'm missing some of the hardened casings. Fine, fine. But I can actually just make some of the iron sheet metal just so I'm only missing the casing now, just for future reference. So then we also need a device frame. So have I already made one? No, but I can tell the system to make one. And that will be quite fast, I would have thought. Maybe it needs to craft a little bit. What are you actually doing? You're crafting glass. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't have cancelled that. yeah, craft one. It'll figure itself out. The crafting of glass is fine. We'll come back to that. We are then going to need the heavy engineering block. So, okay, heavy engineering block. We've got plenty of those. Okay, and what is the last one? What's the last one? Machine case, and that's the thing that going to require me to go and make. Unfortunately, machine case. Oh no, that's basic machine casing. Machine case, on the other hand, yeah, I need advanced machine casing. Yeah, that's the problem. And that is this. It requires me to make more advanced alloy. I'm going to go and do that off camera, and I'll bring you back once I'm done making a few of these. Okay, in a short time later, I think I have everything we need now. I have 4 blocks of iron. We're going to convert those over into Inori crystals. Okay, and that is 4 Inori crystal blocks. We'll convert them back into the crystals themselves, into the crafting grid, and that will make everything else. So, this is the thermionic fabricator. Can we shift-click into this? Looks like we can shift-click the recipe in, and if I just dump all of those in there, that should start to craft. Oh, good. And this should start to actually craft the thing we want. Now, because I've got 4 of each of these, I should end up with 8 of these thermal expansion machine frames, which means that recipe is done, and this should unlock a really big gate for us, which is this one. We get a machine frame as a reward or a signal upgrade kit. I'm not going to worry about the upgrade kit nor a compression dynamo because I don't really use compression dynamos. If you wonder what they are, gunpowder basically. You can use those to power your base, and we have a mob farm that produces plenty of it, or can do if we did it automatically. Right now, however, it's an XP machine for all kinds of tools and our blood magic, so we're not going to worry about doing that. At least not at the moment. Do we have this up to temperature? It looks like it is up to temperature. Good. So it should be crafting. I'd imagine. Have I got everything in there? Iron casings? Yes. Device frames? Yeah. Machine frames? Yep. Heavy engineering blocks? And Inori crystals? Yes. So that should actually craft. Let me give it a little while. It should get to the top. And are you going to craft for me? Do I need something else for this? No, that's saying it just needs liquid glass. It needs 6,000 willow buckets of it. It's got 8,000. Why are you not yet crafting? As usual, my fault entirely. It should be a machine case, not the advanced machine casing. I needed to actually just take it one step further. And of course, it's fully automated there from that point forwards. So that should start crafting. And there we go. So we've got 2. Okay, we'll take those out. 4. Good. 6. And 8 of these, which is great because this should unlock. Yeah, that should give me another 1. Come on, detect. Yep. Good. That should be 9. And that is... Oh, all of them. I don't need the choice. Fine. I'm even happier with that, even though I'm not going to use the compression dynamo. I'll put that away. But the signal arm upgrade kit, well, that'll be quite useful, depending on what we use these machine frames for. So machine frames is now unlocked, and that means pretty much all of thermal expansion. So yes, we can get into Psi. That's now unlocked by this. Advanced rocketry, and just as importantly, Ender IO, which is a very, very useful mod indeed. But of course needs simple machine chassis to make, which is hardened cell frames, and almost certainly they're going to need to be made in thermal expansion. No, actually. Okay, you're just going to make a liar out of me. Okay, the energy cell frame needs to be made in thermal expansion. Oh, and it needs a machine frame. That's quite expensive, though, to do that. But then it needs Empowerer through actually additions. So yeah, we're not getting into Ender IO without going through Empowerers. Fine. However, we do have machine frames, which should let us look at thermal expansion. So, if you remember rightly, we're going to need that induction smelter. And does it have any more complicated recipes? It does not, hopefully. Nope, that is a modified recipe, but it's a quite simple modified recipe. Copper gears, sand, and invar gears. So no, nothing excessive needed here. So why don't we craft that first machine, the induction smelter. And to do that, I'm going to need some gold. Okay, I'm going to need a pattern. Has this been crafted any patterns recently? Pattern? Yeah, crafted 8 of them. That's fine. We're going to need a processing pattern. And I'm going to need to put 1 gold, and then I'm going to need to go to the machine itself and process one of these things. So let's head over here. I've switched to using the IC2 furnaces because it has this auto ejector upgrade, and because I've configured this not to have an input from the left hand side, the only valid side it can go up to is upwards, which means I don't need that pipe network at the back to sort of route things back to the interface. So that's all well and good, and for this we just want to put it through here. And this will make exactly what we want. It'll get dumped back into the system, of course, so I don't need to actually stay around to actually do that. And just configure the pattern, and of course don't need to run back down with the pattern to do anything once I have one of them. So what was it? Induction smelter. Induction smelter. There we are. And it's the redstone reception coil that we actually get. So let's just look here for the coil. Okay, and that will tell the system how it can make more of them. So metallurgic infuser, it's going to be this bottom one because that's the redstone stuff, and both of those are now in the system, which should mean I can just create the induction smelter if I have all the other ingredients. Do I have here? I have everything apart from copper gears. Okay, and copper, do I have I do have copper. Why don't I just grab some of that? I'll make enough for 4 gears. And we'll tell the system to make more, actually. There's always a key for... Oh no, the system doesn't know how to make more. I'm not giving it the copper recipe. Okay, I guess we'll do that while we're here. Tell it this is how you make copper. Okay, and go back. And 1 copper ore equals 1 copper ingot. I'm not going to bother about doubling because we're getting it via sieving, which is giving us a stupid amount. If we need more than that, we can always force it to double, but it really isn't a concern right now. And then this just needs to go into here, and then we can just tell the system to make copper. Yes, there we go. So make me 100 copper, please. Yeah, just go ahead and do it. And you can see it's generating it quite quickly because that smelter, the IC2 one, is pretty fast. The other upgrade I was going to do, but I actually run out of obsidian, is to upgrade this just to an ender chest into the system. So I don't need to... I can move this one, like here, for instance, just to keep all the casts and stuff. But otherwise, we are fine. And I already made some copper gears ahead of time. I must have just forgotten that I made them. Okay, that's fine, because that'll get us the induction smelter. Induction, let's dump all of this stuff in the system as well. All of you can go away. And 1 induction smelter, please. Great. And that is the expansion machine. Do we have a quest category for this? We do, and this has a whole bunch of stuff for us to actually create. Yes, just a checkbox task. We get a crescent hammer from this, it looks like. And a red print. It's like a blueprint, but red. Let's see, copy its settings. Oh, I've never really used that, but that may be a new block. It may be something that's, sorry, a new item, but it may also be a really old one. This chapter leads to environmental tech, and its machines are the basis for a wide range of mid to end game crafting components. Fine, and that's okay. So we have to go through and create a whole bunch of these, and all these machines, well, I may not need all of them, but having most of them is going to be useful. In particular, one of the things I can do is get the compactor, not compacting draw, compactor. This basically lets you create more gears. And we have almost everything we need, apart from another one of those coils. So let's tell the system to just craft me, I don't know, 10 coils. Okay, and that compactor will then let me craft gears, and I don't need to do it through the smeltery, so I can automate it much easier and put it in a single block. I'm not sure if I showed you downstairs or not. If I didn't, I apologize. In the middle there, I've upgraded it to dense cable because we need more channels. And this is the first and easiest upgrade to do before you actually get onto others. It's just for the previous cable, along with a redstone and a glowstone in a crafting grid. So each one of these is worth 4, and it's easiest to just get 32 channels on one of these. You may have some exceptions as to what won't connect directly to this. Some things have problems connecting directly, but most things will be fine. or you can just take off a smart cable off the side of it, etc., stuff like that. That's the first easiest way to upgrade. The maximum for one side of a controller is 32 channels or 32 active devices. For example, there are 8 active devices here, if I remember rightly, or does it count the molecular assemblers as devices as well? Either way, it's using 12, so if that's 8, 9, 10, yeah, it must include the molecular assemblers. So that's 12 devices on this side. Later, we'll be able to get to more complicated but hugely amount more scalable approach to this. We're using P2P networks. So P2P is a type of A2 stuff here. You'll see P2P tunnels. And they are point-to-point, basically. So what you can say is you can still have all the sides, all those 32 sides, but if you expand your controller out to be multiple sizes, you can basically say, I want to send all of those 32 channels over one channel. So you can have like a backbone cable, whether it's this dense or even normal smart cable, and this can extend outwards to like a point, i.e. point to point, over here, whereby I can see a single channel coming all the way along the cable, and then it branches back into 8 channels over here. We'll get to that later. It's a bit more complicated, so it's easier just to start out with. Just upgrade the dense cable wherever you need it, and that'll do that job. So that should be everything we need. That compactor hopefully should be able to be ready now, unless I need to make anything else. But no, we should have those coils being done. Compactor. Yep, one compactor, and that has a couple of modes, but I'm going to need to lay out another wall here, probably with some more cable. I'm going to want them to be manually crafted to get started, but later on we'll want to have automated setups, and because this is a room I want to use, and then I've got rooms on 3 other sides, I'm going to extend the cable through the back of here, and here's where that latex setup is. And we'll send it underneath here or something like that, and around, and then we'll have our thermal expansion machines on this wall. As and when we automate them, we'll move them downstairs, and then we can clean up the wall again. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with today's episode. We've unlocked a major new mod, which should unlock a lot of the other recipes which require us to go through this. I guess one of the other things we're going to want is a magma crucible. Okay. And that requires a nether brick, which is easy enough to go and acquire. Do we actually have any of those? We do, so we can just make it. Cool, 1 magma crucible. And that was one of the recipes I needed for, well, the machines I needed earlier for a recipe. So on Christmas Day, I will leave it here with you for this, and hopefully you've enjoyed the episode. We've unlocked quite a bit, and all the best to you and your family if you are celebrating Christmas. If you're not, have a good holiday, and make sure your boss gives you time off while everyone else celebrates Christmas. You can just relax and watch the TV. Cool, hopefully. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. As always, guys, feel free to subscribe, share, and like if you would. Give it a thumbs up. That would be most appreciated. Most importantly, leave comments for other people with tips, tricks, and advice. As always, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.